Hello and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now that's right, today we're back for another tier ranking video. It's been a few weeks since I've done one of these, so I thought it was time to come back and do another one. And today I thought I'd do my first set of films from a director, and I thought Quentin Tarantino would be a very good choice. So yeah, we're just going to put all of these in order. I mean, there's 10 movies here to go over. So what I want to say is the ones that I put in the S, of course, are going to be my favourite. And if I do put one in the D section, doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It's just a D-list film for Quentin. It's not a D-list film in general. That's the way I look at it. These films are all sort of going to be ranked here. So yeah, anyway, we'll get started with Reservoir Dogs, his first movie, which I'm going to put... there we go, got it. I'm going to put it as a B. I really like Reservoir Dogs. For a first movie, it's really good. The dialogue is absolutely incredible. And I love how subtle a lot of things are. There's a lot of characters where you're sort of left to interpretation as to what happens with them. But if you listen really carefully, you can sort of hear in the background what happens to certain characters and whatnot in this movie. And on top of that, you've got some incredible acting. You really do. And there's some super intense scenes. It's just really great. And for a first movie, I think Quentin has knocked it out the park with Reservoir Dogs. I think it is fantastic. I wouldn't put it as an S or an A, purely because there are other films here which I would definitely rank a lot higher than this one. So I think middle of the pack is definitely where it belongs. Next up, we have his most beloved movie and one of the most beloved movies of all time, and that's Pulp Fiction. Now, I want to say here, because I know this is one of the most beloved movies ever, and this is just my opinion, but I'm going to put it as an A. Not quite an S, no. That's purely because there are some other films here which I think deserve the S section more. Now, Pulp Fiction is absolutely fantastic. The acting is incredible. The script is also fantastic. I love the fact that things are happening out of order. It really makes you think. But I think what really, really drives this film is the characters. They're all just so fun. It is just a super fun movie. Also, I love the music in this film. Again, this film also has a lot of twists and turns to it, which really catch you off guard sometimes. And I think they're absolutely fantastic. Pulp Fiction is a really, really great movie. It's one of the best, and I can see why it is so beloved. So, Pulp Fiction is going in the A. Then we have Jackie Brown. Now, Jackie Brown, I'm actually going to put... I'm going to put it as a B. I was debating C or B there. Now, because I will rank these at the end, I will put them all in the right order. But I can tell you now that Reservoir Dogs is going to stand in front of Jackie Brown in the B section. There is a bit of a drop-off. I don't think Jackie Brown quite deserves to go to a C. I like Jackie Brown a lot. There's a lot of great things in this. I love the acting for a start. De Niro doesn't have much to say in this movie, but whenever he does open his mouth, it's incredible. He's so good in this film. Sam Jackson is also great. There's a couple really shocking deaths in this movie. They both sort of have, the two really shocking ones sort of happen really close to each other, and it really flips the film upside down for me, where I was like, oh my god, like, what's going to happen next? It is a bit of a slow burner at time, and you know what? I'm going to come out and say it. I think that the character Jackie Brown is one of my least favourites in this movie. I actually genuinely prefer a lot of the side characters personally, but it's still a really interesting movie, and I do like this film a lot. So next up, we've got the two Kill Bill movies, which I'm going to put in the B section. I actually agree with Quentin here. I know these films are released as two individual movies, but for me, it really is one movie. I can't decide, because I know people always say they prefer either the first or the second one. I genuinely don't know which one I prefer. I really love them both equally. And I do like them both a lot. I think they're both super fun films. The action is so good. The choreography is fantastic. I love the gore in these ones. It's so incredible. The way the first film opens up with, of course, her fighting her first sort of enemy, and the gore fest that it turns into is great. I love it. And I love how the story ends up. You know, it's his two films which are sort of built up to have this huge showdown with Bill. And when we get there, it's really great. I really think it's a really fun time, and the payoff is fantastic. I really do enjoy these films. Next up, is Death Proof. Death Proof I'm going to put down as a D. It's the only Tarantino movie I genuinely think might not be good. I don't know. I don't know if I want to say it's a bad movie, but I don't think it's very good. It's very meh for me. I was fully invested in this film for the first half because I love Kurt Russell. Watching him sort of prowl about this bar was really interesting to me. I was really looking forward to seeing what he was going to do next and how he was going to interact with these characters that were in the bar with him. And of course, about halfway through, something happens, and for me, it pulled me out of the movie, because then we're introduced to a whole set of new characters, and it just wasn't as interesting from that point on. And at the end of the movie, I just remember sitting there thinking, what was the point in that? I genuinely don't know what the point of it was. It's a sloppy film, I think. And yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of this movie. I apologise to fans of it. Then we go into Inglourious Basterds, which I'm going to put straight up as an S. Now, this isn't my personal favourite Tarantino movie, as you'll see in a minute. But I think this is his masterpiece. This is his most well-made movie. I think this film is made incredibly well. That everything about it is just perfect. The dialogue is fantastic. I love the way that Christoph Waltz walks into that French house where he has a suspicion there are some Jews being hidden, and he manages to up this French guy in every way. It was amazing. The French guy would pull out a pipe. Christoph Waltz put out a bigger one. He was just upping him with everything. It was incredible. The 10-minute opening scenes, that was brilliant. The score was fantastic as well. And of course, the acting all round is incredible in this movie. It's unbelievably great. The script throughout the whole film is fantastic. I absolutely love it. And a lot of the shocking moments are incredible. I know that it obviously is not historically correct at the end of this movie, but Quentin has a habit of doing that, with like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as well, which we'll get to. I love it. I think it's a great little twist. Hey, it's based on true events. It's not, this is it. This is factually what happens. So what if the ending obviously changes things a bit? It was great. It was super fun. I think this film looks fantastic. The cinematography is gorgeous. I think this is Quentin's masterpiece. I really do. Inglourious Basterds deserves nothing less than a perfect score. Also going up there is my personal favourite, Django Unchained. Now, while I think Inglourious Basterds is a better made movie, I think I slightly prefer Django just because it's a Western and I can have a bit more fun with this one. This movie doesn't take itself as seriously at times, through certain, like, the music, for example. It's there to make you feel a bit more relaxed through after something very intense, because this film still has some really intense moments. But there's a humorous side to this one, which I actually really like and think Tarantino does a great job with it. For example, there's a scene involving a bunch of KKK members, but somehow Quentin's made it very funny. It feels very fresh. But along with that, I just love the story. It's a simple story about a man who's trying to get his girlfriend back. And it's wife, sorry. I'm pretty sure they're married in the movie. And it's an incredible story. It really is. Christoph Waltz is once again fantastic. Whenever Christoph Waltz works with Tarantino, he's amazing, clearly. I'd love to see him come back in Tarantino's final movie. I would love to see Christoph Waltz again working with the man, because he's incredible. Jamie Foxx, I'm not normally a huge fan of him, but he's really, really good in this movie. And Leonardo DiCaprio gives a fantastic performance. And so does Samuel L. Jackson. Really great. I really do love this movie. Okay, here we go. It's time for me to be a bit controversial. And again, guys, just remember, this is my opinion. But I'm going to put The Hateful Eight up the top. I know that this actually falls quite low on a lot of people's lists. But then again, looking through Letterboxd and stuff, I have seen some people also put it in their top 3. So I know I'm not alone here. I know there are some people who love this film as much as me. Why do I love this film so much? First off, I just adore how this film looks and sounds. The cinematography is gorgeous. I love the setting here. It looks incredible. In Round Rock and stuff, they're up in the hills where it's snowing. There's a blizzard. and they're stuck in his cabin, and the cabin is just so amazing. Like, it just looks incredible in there. It really puts you in the moment. And then the characters are what carries this film. It is fantastic. Each one of these characters is so interesting. I love it. And I know people complain it's too long. I completely disagree, because I love spending time with all these characters. Half the time they are just talking about stuff that's going on in their lives and their past, their history, and what they're going to do when the blizzard leaves. You know, they're all going to go into Round Rock and stuff, and who's going to be doing what. And I find it fascinating, because these characters were great. The script was incredible. And then when characters do start popping off, it's fascinating to me in what order they go, because it is so surprising. I love The Hateful Eight, I really do. And Ennio Morricone does an incredible score for this movie as well. Okay, so last film up is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which, you know what, if you'd asked me about 2 months ago, it probably would have been a C or a B, but now it's either an A or a B for me. I've really come to like this movie, and I'm going to put it as an A, I think. So, me and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I didn't love it on first watch. I'm not going to lie. In the cinema, I found myself very disappointed. And I think it's because the narrative didn't really interest me too much. I was just watching these guys mope about in Hollywood and try to get work and stuff. But now I think I've come to appreciate much more how amazing it was that what Quentin done was he put you in this time frame. It was incredible. The costumes, the sets, everything looked incredible. I felt like I was in this 60s Hollywood glamour. Brad Pitt steals every scene. He's fantastic in this movie. And Leonardo DiCaprio is also incredible. All the side characters do a fantastic job. Now, I get what they were doing with Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate. I get that they were trying to build up the Manson murders. Okay, we know where this is going. That's why they kept showing Sharon Tate. But obviously with the twist at the end, which I loved, and I loved the last 20 minutes of this movie. It was the best bit in the film for me. I thought it was incredible. On rewatches, while I've actually come to appreciate everything with Leo and Brad Pitt more, I just find it so fun to watch. The Sharon Tate stuff actually is less interesting, in my opinion, because you know that it's not really going anywhere. You know that the hippies that are going to break in, who in real life killed Sharon Tate, are going to break into Leo's house now instead. So the Sharon Tate stuff after first watch becomes a little bit not as interesting, in my opinion, and not as rewatchable. But I've really come to appreciate how well made this movie is, and how much more interesting the stuff with Leo and Brad is. And for the most part, I do really enjoy this movie. I don't think it's perfect. I do have a few problems with it. I definitely don't think it's Quentin's best, but it's really good. And it has a great soundtrack as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these films in order. And honestly, there's not much switching about I have to do here. So obviously, Death Proof is going to remain at the bottom. I think most people can agree on that one. C, nothing there. B section, I'm going to switch a couple around. I'm going to switch the 2 Kill Bill films there above Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown is definitely my least favourite in that section. Reservoir Dogs is definitely my favourite. And so the Kill Bill films, stick them together. I don't care which one goes first and which one goes last. I kind of treat them as one film, and I love them both. Then I am going to keep Once Upon a Time in Hollywood behind Pulp Fiction. I think there is a bit of an improvement here. You know, maybe these films on this line could maybe be C. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood could be a B on its own, and Pulp Fiction stays an A. Because I think there is definitely a little bit of a gap from between Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Pulp Fiction. I definitely think Pulp Fiction has an advantage. It's a better made movie. I think it's a bit more interesting. But yeah, anyway, so I'll keep them there. They definitely both deserve to be an A, though. They're really good movies. S, I am going to just swap Django and Inglourious Bastards around there. I'd say I do think Inglourious Bastards is a better made movie, and I think it is hands down Quentin's best made movie. There's no one that can tell me otherwise. The man put his heart and soul into that movie. I think he's even said it in interviews that it's his favourite movie of his own. But personally, I just enjoy Django more. It's got more of a rewatchability to it. And to be honest, I actually think The Hateful Eight is more rewatchable than Inglourious as well, maybe. And even maybe Django. I really just enjoy rewatching Hateful Eight. I really like that movie. But I definitely prefer Inglourious to The Hateful Eight. So I'm going to keep that where it is. And that there is my Quentin Tarantino movie ranking. Guys, I know that there's some controversial things here I've done and said. This is just my opinion. And I'm fully respectful of everyone else's, because I know that for some people, I don't like Reservoir Dogs would be a lot higher. Pulp Fiction would easily be #1 for a lot of people. And I completely see why, and I completely get it, and I completely respect that opinion. But anyway, guys, that's my list. I hope you enjoyed it as always. Please let me know down in the comments below what you thought of my list. Don't forget tonight, guys, as well, I will also be on the Filmmakers YouTube live stream. So if you want to see me go live tonight, head over to the Filmmakers channel, because I'll be there. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it as always. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and as always, I'll see you next time for another video. Bye-bye.